This is Dyesha Hicks here for Young, Gifted, and Black Entrepreneurial Awards. I'm coming to you from Milk River, our 2017 venue host. Today I have with us the 2017 recipient of the Strategic Business Development and Management Award. I have Kerry-Ann Reid-Brown with us today. She is a podcaster of my growing favorite. It's called Carry-On Friends. She's a founder of that since 2013. We're going to talk to Kerry-Ann about being unapologetically Caribbean. I love that phrase right there alone. Just want to learn more about her and the fact that she's spotlighting her culture, which go unsung. And that's what Young, Gifted, and Black is about, spotlighting amazing people like Kerry-Ann. How are you today?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing well. Give me some accent.
Well, go on.
There we go. Unapologetic. It's absolutely great to have you here. As I was letting the audience know, you have your own podcast, but I'm sure you have a lot of other things going on. Do you want to just run off all the successful things you have under your belt, please?
Sure. So the podcast is our premier content, and in addition, we provide resources and information on career and entrepreneurship, specifically for Caribbean and Caribbean American millennials. That's our largest audience at this time. We also, I do speaking engagements, and I give strategic career and entrepreneurial advice. And there are other few things coming up, but I can't say them quite yet, so I'm excited about those.
Hey, 2017 is getting exciting already.
Yes, I officially dub it bust out year. It's always a bust out year, but you know what? Whenever you do things that are, no longer playing small or in your comfort zone, we just have to bust out and just do the thing.
You said it right there. That was one of the podcasts you had, yes. Bust Out. And I was like, I want to talk about that. So talk about that podcast.
Well, a lot of times we do things and we think we're pushing the limit, but we're just kind of still in that comfort zone. And, last year my brother-in-law was like, Kerry, a time for your bust out with the thing now. And I'm like, you know what, I'm going to dub it a bust out year, because if I didn't do that, I would have still been playing small, thinking that I'm doing all that I should be, and getting frustrated when you know that there's more in you that you should be doing. And then I'm like, I'm just a bust out. I'm not going to worry about what anyone's doing. I'm going to focus on the things that I'm doing. And if it's uncomfortable, it's the thing that I should be doing. So even being on camera isn't something I'm totally comfortable with, but you know what, bust out year. I'm glad I'm getting this award. It's really an honor. And so you know what, you just have to lean into that discomfort and just stand into the talents and the gifts that you're presented with, that you have to share, you have to give back.
That was awesome advice right there. Things that make you uncomfortable pretty much mean you need to do it.
Mm-hmm. Barring anything legal, but yeah, illegal, I should say.
Yeah. All right, but definitely a lot of people tend to get into their comfort zone. What can we do to avoid that?
I think part of it is, and I just did an episode on that, it's being intentional, and that why has to be strong. So I decided that I needed to be a bust out year because my audience needed more of what I had to give. And so that was my why. And that's a strong why. And then once you're intentional about it, you got to put action behind it. And then you get accountability. So self-discipline only gets you but so far. When you have other friends, ambitious friends, because the other thing we talk about is beer ambition. So when you have other ambitious friends around you who are entrepreneurial, they're driven, and they know what you need to accomplish, they're going to hold you accountable. So they're going to be like, Kerry, what are you doing? You're not supposed to be doing this. They're going to push you. So having a bust out year requires intention, action, and you need people around you who are going to push you. So they're going to be like, my girl, turn off the TV, stop watch Scandal, and go write this blog post, or go record this episode, or something. They're going to push you to do it because they know that you're supposed to be doing it.
Fantastic. And right there, when you said being around the right people, it brought me into Carry-On Friends. Right. And when I look at the podcast and the page, it just has a supportive system there.
Yes. So because of that image, which is exactly what I wanted to convey, people think that the platform involves all the people in that picture, but it really is me around friends, because nothing happens in a silo. Everyone's success has something to do with someone else. So Beyonce is Beyonce because she has a team of dancers, she has a manager, she has a whole bunch of people around her to make her Beyonce. Usain Bolt is the same thing. So for you to be successful, you need other people around you who play different roles that help push you to be who you are. And everybody can be in their own lane and be a superstar in their own right, so.
Carry on friends, the definition, I loved it to death. So to manage, conduct. Let's break down the definitions. So to manage and to conduct.
So when you're carrying on, you're conducting yourself in a particular way, and that could go a variety of ways. You could be, conducting yourself in a business manner. You could be having fun, and regardless of what perspective you're enjoying or carrying on, we want to be a part of that. There's a saying, all work and no play makes Jack or Jill a dull boy or a girl. So you want to be able to be ambitious. You are a go-getter for your career goals, your entrepreneurial goals, but you also need to know when it's the time to take a step back and enjoy life. Because without that, there's no meaning to what you're doing. You could go, but who are you doing it for? Why are you doing it? Are you doing it for community? Are you doing it for family? Are you doing it for self? And oftentimes, as Caribbean Americans, we are often doing it for a community. That's why a lot of Caribbean Americans are also social entrepreneurs. They give back. They're always having nonprofits and all these other things because that strong sense of community. So you're carrying on with whatever ambitions you have, social, entrepreneurial or career focus, and you're managing that in whichever way it feels best to you. So we want you to be part of the community so we can do all of that together and to just be our ambitious things.
I love it. I'm so subscribing immediately right after to continue without stopping.
Yes, absolutely. So goals are continuous. So for everything, so you think of life as this pie, the pizza, right? And your goals are the slices that make up this whole pie. So you're going to continue. So I'm on camera. This is just one slice of the goal, of the entire pie. I have to just keep going. And if you're ambitious, most likely you always have something else that you want to accomplish. It's always, ambition is a thing that most Caribbean people are born with. Some people may not be as ambitious, but I tell you, we have excess of it. That's why them say we little and we talawa, right? We little but we talawa. So, to continue is just always that drive, that pursuit of excellence. We learned that growing up. Heights of great men reached and kept were not attained by sudden flight, but they, while their companions slept, were toiling upward through the night. We are continuing, we're just driving, and that's what the platform is. We're just going to keep going because we're here, and we need to show everyone how awesome we are being unapologetically Caribbean.
Love it. Love the breakdown so far. To continue to live, work, etc., despite a setback or tragedy. Now that's deep.
Yes. So everything we see on Instagram or social media, it's all about the floss, the gloss, the glow. Exactly. But the reality is there's some hard days. There's some days when you I can't do this, and then the husband be like, really, babe, you can't do this? Or your friends would be like, you know what, just take a break and then talk to me next week and tell me if you really can't do it. Life is hard. We don't see a lot of that. But what we want is to create a community where other people understand that, today it's hard. I'm not getting the clients I need. My product didn't take off the way I thought it would, but I'm here to support you. It doesn't mean that one failure means a complete failure in life. It just means that you learn and you fail forward, whatever the term is. We just got to keep going.
I think that's been an amazing thing to learn so far this year is that failure is not failure. Yeah. It's just another stepping stone.
Yes, absolutely.
I love that. And last but not least, to continue in spite of hardship or discouragement.
Right. So that's a part of life. And, as a Caribbean American, I grew up in Jamaica where, I lived through Hurricane Gilbert. I lived through all of these things, and hardship is a way of life. We just know how to make lime juice with lime, and it's we are resilient, and in order for us to get to that next level, we always figure out how to move forward And it's always about the people you surround yourself with in order to get out of that. So we talked about your ambitious friends. This is where family and other friends come in to support you, because we have two sets of people who are always supporting us. People who understand our business ambitions, but family who they support us in our business, but they're there for the emotional support. They're there for the encouragement. And I get it, some people may not have that, but we need to find those people, because that is who is going to re-energize us and help us to remember our humanity. You know, like, you know what, I know you want to be this entrepreneur, you want to be this, but you're still my Kerry, you're still my sister, you're still my aunt, you're still my mom, you're still my wife. You know, so those are things that are important. And we remind people of that, like, you could do all of that, but you're still a person. And even if you don't achieve the success that you want, you're still successful at a whole bunch of other things that we often downplay because it's not as big as we want it to be. So, you know, our other motto is live meaningfully, because when you have a meaningful purpose to life, then you can build stronger because you know your bigger goal, and then you could achieve abundantly based on that meaningful. And achievements don't always mean monetary. It doesn't always mean accolades, which are great. It means that feeling, that sense of joy that you feel doing something for people less fortunate, you know, giving back, you know, just that whole feeling is just something you can't take away, you can't replace. It feels good when you're doing that. So
it may be rough to begin with, but it definitely feels good during.
yes.
So I love it. I love you. Thank you so much for breaking down the carry-on definition. It's amazing. It was very inspiring. So I had to get that under the belt. Now, when it comes to, you mentioned the visual part and being on camera. Was that a little nerve-wracking for you?
It is. It's just something that I've always been a behind-the-scenes person. So now it's just like, all right, you got to be the face of this platform. No one knows who you are. They're like, this is great, but who are you? And people connect with people. They don't connect with brands. And that's why brands have spokespersons, because you need to connect with a Michael Jordan to get Hanes or something like that. So I had to do that if I needed my brand to grow and to help other Caribbean Americans be successful and achieve and get the resources that they're looking for. A lot of times it's finding the right information and the right encouragement at the right time.
When it comes to social media, that's such a big thing. It's such a big thing. Podcasting is a part of social media, but it also has this stigma when it comes to numbers. So when it comes to 40,000 versus 4,000 followers versus 400, what does that mean to you?
Numbers are great if you are looking for advertisers or that. I think for me, the number, or what I focus on, is engagement. Realistically, I can't talk to 4,000 people a day or a week. So I try to build meaningful relationships with those who I'm connected with. And that's what I focus on. There's just so many distractions, and the numbers, like I said, they're great, they're beautiful, but it's how many people can I engage with and have a conversation and make an impact to.
When I went to the link in your IG bio, it said contribute, right? So I was like, hey, you know what? I like this lady already. How much can I give? But it wasn't about funding. It was about looking for fresh talent and unapologetic Caribbeans to contribute to your site. So I was even shocked by that. So you're looking for contributors.
Right. So I'm the primary content creator, and it's always good to get the perspective of others on the platform. And I'm just looking for other people who are looking to get exposure with their writing, who are passionate about entrepreneurship and career for Caribbean millennials and Caribbean Americans. And I think it would be a great place to start flexing those muscles, because, you know, entrepreneurship is huge, and we need fresh insight and other people to kind of give their take on where it's going and what it means to them. I grew up in a very entrepreneurial family. I just lost my grandmother, but growing up, she, you know, the people who lived next door to us didn't have electricity, so she caught water in containers, put them in the freezer, and she sold ice, you know. My other grandmother, she did kind of something similar. My uncles are fishermen. My aunt, she would walk around and sell coals to people. So entrepreneurship is that. But for us, entrepreneurship is survival because you need that in the Caribbean to supplement your income. So we want people to think of entrepreneurship in a different way, not the fancy, sexy way that's out there, but in a way that you have ideas, not necessarily innovation, but how you implement just existing things in a different way and show people what is possible. That's what it is. You show people what's possible, whether they choose to do it or not, but you just give the information for them to digest.
Where were you at and what were you doing when you were notified that you were receiving this Strategic Business Development and Management Award?
I was home. I got this email. I was like, babe, I got this email. I want an award. And he's like, huh? I'm like, yeah, I'm trying to figure it. It's one of those things. I'm known in my family. I'm not like the, oh my God. It's always like, babe, this is happening, or if it's serious, I go, I laugh a little bit. But once it set in, I was just like, oh, wow, this is a big deal. I was really nervous at first. I'm like, oh, my God, I'm getting an award. That means I have to stand in front of people, accept an award. So I was thinking about, being in front of people first and, not the award. And that's something that I've learned that, all right, like walk it back a little bit. All right, this is good. This is really good. I'm enjoying this. And it's really something that, goes to the other thing. You work hard and people acknowledge you. You should just, for a moment, just pause and just appreciate those moments. Because I think as entrepreneurs, we go from, and someone told me this the other day, we go from one accomplishment to the other and not necessarily take the time to say, well, man, this happened, this is good. We don't do that. So I didn't do that, and I'm working on that. So I got the award at home, I got the notice at home, and I was like, okay. But as the days, the weeks have gone by, it's soaking in, and it's like, all right, this is good.
Now you have to get a nice dress.
Nice dress here and ting. So yeah. We have other Caribbean Americans who are focused on finance, who are trying to help others with their student loan and other debt. We have a guest that's coming up on the show in April who is all about finances, and I can't wait for him to be on the show. He's a global shaper, and he was in Geneva last year. And we have another content creator, Melissa Bouton, who her main focus is helping Caribbean Americans who have student loans with Caribbean banks and with U.S. banks eliminate their debt. So, there are a lot of people in the community doing things. And so the podcast highlights some of those people who are out here doing things to help everyone else.
Fantastic. And last question, when you say Caribbean and Caribbean culture and unapologetically Caribbean, does other people feel isolated, like they shouldn't tune in, or it's just for Caribbeans?
The topics I cover can benefit anyone. But what makes it unapologetic Caribbean is like, I'll be on the show and I'll talk like this, and I'm like, what I mean? Man, sometimes, and I switch like that. And it's usually people who are from the Caribbean understanding that code switch. So if you are a lover of Caribbean culture, you can listen to it. If you understand Patois, you can listen to it. Because I'll be talking Patois sometime. Some of my guests are from Trinidad. They say something in some Trini accent or some Trini slang, and Haitian. I have a guest who's from Haiti that's going to be coming up on the show. So it's really understanding that we're going to say things that sometimes it's like an insider club when we say it if you're from the Caribbean, and that's why unapologetic.
And it's okay to have your own insider club.
Yes, absolutely, we need it.
Thank you so much, Kerry-Ann, for being here. You did fantastic. Let's aim for her to have a visual podcast, everyone. Send emails, all right? And where can people find you on all your social media? That's super important, too.
Okay, so on social media, it's at Kerry-Ann Friends, Instagram, Twitter, Facebook. And if you have any questions about the platform, it's hello@kerryonfriends.com. You can visit Kerry-Ann Friends. You can subscribe iTunes. We're all over the place, so it's big things.
Big things. Okay, I'm going to work on my accent, and I thank you so much. Congratulations on this award, and we'll see you at the award show. Thank you, Young, Gifted, and Black, for having me here. This has been an absolutely amazing experience and interview. Everyone, continue to tune in. There will be more interviews. Be safe.